pretty exciting. The notion of taking your time and making one thing perfect.
Forged in Fire is a show that just feels different. Fans love all the fire and steel and Ben Abbott, who was an undefeated fan favorite.
Up till now, Ben has faced multiple Smiths, and he's knocked them all out.
But the real truth has been exposed. Is Forged in Fire actually fake? And was it canceled? What about those crazy Ben rumors? Listen closely to this. Forged in Fire really found a fan base. But now, someone wants to set the record straight because there have been accusations directed at the show and crazy rumors about Ben. The success of Forged in Fire has raised a lot of questions over the past couple of years. There was even a Reddit thread, and apparently, many people thought they knew the real truth. A Reddit user posted a message and an honest question. Is Forged in Fire accurate? This Reddit user admitted they didn't know much about smithing. That's the nickname that blacksmiths and bladesmiths use for this art form. The Redditor claimed that they enjoyed watching the sword-making competition reality show, but they had been listening to people online who claimed to be actual blacksmiths, and they wanted to know if these alleged blacksmiths were telling the real truth. Blacksmiths who shared their story made it sound like Forged in Fire could be fake. These blacksmiths claimed it would take 4 months, not 8 hours or 4 days, to make an actual sword like they make so super fast and dramatically on Forged in Fire. On the Reddit thread, commenters who are apparently blacksmithing experts really threw shade at Forged in Fire. One commenter said, "You can definitely turn out a thin piece of slightly flexible steel that cuts well and is properly heat treated in a few days." That sounds like a positive, right? But this commenter on Reddit wasn't finished. They think that the blacksmith contestants are rushed on the show. They also posed the question, are they making good swords on the show? Then they answered their own question. This commenter claimed that the majority of the swords you see on Forged in Fire are not good swords. They said that the swords probably snap or otherwise possess major flaws. This commenter even threw shade at fans of Forged in Fire too. They alleged that Forged in Fire is a show about blacksmithing for non-blacksmiths. And they said something about the show that really gets their goat. Whenever you hear a term on Forged in Fire like Damascus steel, it's probably just being used to make the show sound more cool and dramatic. And speaking of cool and dramatic, you might think that's a great description of Ben until you hear the crazy rumors about him.
Bring it on.
Wild speculation started after Ben seemed to disappear from the show. There was even a crazy video online that alleged that Ben had been accused of a violent crime. This allegation is not only unproven, the production team of Forged in Fire would tell you that it's an outright lie, because everyone who appears on the show as a judge or contestant has to pass a serious background check. So that must mean a check for criminal violations, as well as a Skype interview and a telephone interview too. Another unbelievable thread on Reddit claimed to know why Ben had left Forged in Fire, and the reason may shock you. Some Reddit commenters claimed that Ben is a right-winger who opposed COVID vaccines and mask mandates. Again, these allegations do not appear to be the real truth. But then, the flag controversy happened. And the title of this Reddit thread pretty much says it all. It's pretty shocking to allege that Ben is a white supremacist. Although the Reddit user who started the thread was just asking a question, they claimed they saw several flags hanging in Ben's shop on a Forged in Fire episode a few years ago. And this Reddit user claimed the flags were associated with white supremacy. Was this commenter just throwing shade? Maybe not, but they did say it was pretty jarring to see those flags in Ben's shop. Other Redditors were quick to come to Ben's defense. They claimed that Ben had the state flags for Alabama and Virginia hanging in his shop, as well as 2 Revolutionary-era flags. Since Ben is from England, one Redditor thought it's natural for him to be interested in the Revolutionary War, and that doesn't make him a white supremacist. So why did Ben leave Forged in Fire? Sources claim that Ben moved to Richmond, Virginia permanently. He opened and operates a place called the Ash Grove Forge. Ben works with a variety of materials, and he's created usable works of art. including coffee tables and butcher blocks. Ben also got married to a lovely dancer and artist named Heather Rayburn. Heather is also an award-winning choreographer. She choreographs dance pieces for live concerts, musical theater, ballroom dance competitions, and even debutante balls. Ben and Heather prefer to keep their relationship private, but we know they celebrated their 5th wedding anniversary in July 2023, and on October 22nd, 2020, Ben and Heather welcomed their baby boy, Alden James Abbott. That's when Ben created another work of art to use at home, a baby crib. Ben became famous on Forged in Fire for his bladesmithing skills, and after he allegedly disappeared from the reality show, some fans were lucky to catch Ben competing at the Blade Sports International Cutting Competition. Blade Sports might not be well known outside of the blacksmithing community, but it's an important organization. Blade Sports exists to promote knife or sword cutting as an art form, and they thought that Ben was a natural fit for their competition. Appearing at Blade Sports made people realize something else about Ben. He's great at sharing his knowledge and skills as a bladesmith. So, Ben began teaching workshops and mentoring aspiring bladesmiths. Because he's so good at making the complex art of bladesmithing easier to understand for students, Ben has become a sought-after instructor in the art form. That's great news for him and the people who see him competing or attend one of his workshops. But for the millions of fans of Forged in Fire, they might think they'll never see Ben on the show again. But wait for it, because the History Channel made a shocking announcement. A spokesperson confirmed that Forged in Fire has not been canceled. And while Ben is not currently scheduled to appear on season 10, that doesn't mean that he won't make an appearance in a future episode. Maybe Ben is waiting for the Forged in Fire set to get more comfortable. While so-called experts have written off the blacksmithing on this reality show as being inaccurate, contestants and judges have confirmed that the hot fires seen on the show are real. And that's not the only thing about them that makes it uncomfortably hot on set. Bright studio lights also cause temperatures on set to increase. So everyone is encouraged to keep thermoses of cold water on them. And they're expected to keep hydrating because getting too hot and dehydrated is unhealthy. Inside sources have also made shocking claims. They allege that those burning fires you see on the show are for entertainment value. These sources would probably have to agree with so-called blacksmithing experts who say Forged in Fire is hyped up. Sources claim that some knife-making steps aren't included in the show because some of these steps are apparently too boring for TV. That's why the producers look for sparks and flames. And if you're a fan of that stuff, allegedly, Forged in Fire is returning to give you what you're looking for. Are you a Forged in Fire fan? Do you think it's inaccurate or just filmed for entertainment value? Did you wonder what happened to Ben? Do you want him to appear in a future episode? Let me know in the comments below.